Americans are 25 times more likely to be murdered with a gun than people in other developed countries. Mexico's IRS Chief contemplates blacklisting the United States as a tax haven, and artificial intelligence is transforming Mexico's financial sector. Hello and welcome to today's edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News Business. I'm Joseph Garza. Let's go to the information. More than 30,000 Americans are killed with guns each year. About two-thirds of those are suicides. Meanwhile, Americans overall are 25 times more likely to be murdered with a gun than people in other developed countries, gun control advocates say. Not only is the United States the runaway world leader for gun ownership, it also suffers mass shootings at more than 11 times the rate of any other developed country. One of President Trump's very first acts was to roll back the regulations that were designed to keep firearms out of the hands of the mentally ill. The White House has refused to release a photo of President Donald Trump signing a law making it easier for some people with mental illness to buy guns. The controversy follows a shooting by a suspect who had mental health issues. Nicolas Cruz is accused of using a legally purchased rifle to kill 17 people at his former high school in Parkland, Florida, on Wednesday. Here are some alarming statistics pertaining to gun ownership and gun violence in the United States following this latest mass shooting. According to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, the gun ownership rate in the United States is equal to 88 guns for every 100 people, the highest by far in the world. Up to half of the civilian-owned guns worldwide are held in the United States, according to the Small Arms Survey from 2007. More than 100,000 people are shot each year in the United States, according to a study published in the journal Health Affairs. Yet despite all of this compelling evidence and the continued onslaught of mass shootings in the United States, the Trump administration refutes the allegation that U.S. gun ownership laws are too liberal and offers no solution to a problem that is as old as the Wild West. Moving on, according to the chief of Mexico's IRS, a preferential tax regime, or Freeplay, is defined as a jurisdiction whose residents are taxed at a rate that is less than 75% of the rate that would be paid under the Mexican income tax law, which currently stands at 22.5%. If the proposed fiscal reform that is being reviewed by U.S. Congress is approved, then the new income tax rate in the U.S. could become 75% lower than the income tax rate currently levied in Mexico. If that were to happen under current Mexican income tax law, U.S. non-residents and controlled foreign companies operating in Mexico will be considered as operating under a Freeplay. Such entities are subject to a 40% withholding tax when repatriating earnings from Mexico. In an interview with El Financiero newspaper, the head of Mexico's IRS, Osvaldo Santin, explained that a rule exists for the classification of a tax haven and that the U.S. is being evaluated by his office in line with the United States' proposed fiscal reform. Raul Cecilia, lead partner of the transfer pricing practice of PwC, confirmed that by lowering the income tax rate to 21% in the United States, America would then be considered as a preferential tax regime as defined by Mexican income tax law. This means that any payment made to entities subject to Freeplay would no longer be deductible. In other news, artificial intelligence continues to gain increasingly active roles in companies, and the financial sector is no exception. In practical terms, it is now possible to predict the behavior of shares in the stock market and to perform financial and customer risk assessments. Investors and risk assessors can create portfolios operated by bots, which, supported by mathematical models, take advantage of the information gathered from the internet to make much more informed decisions. For banks, AI offers an even greater opportunity. The large amount of data and the detailed knowledge that financial entities accumulate about their customers allows them to provide new services to their customers, improve operational efficiency, or exploit the information still hidden in that same data. According to data from the 2017 GFT survey of banking professionals, Mexico is among the countries betting most on artificial intelligence to transform its financial services sector. Currently, 50% of Mexican banks are developing their digital transformation strategies, and another 30% have already completed it. And finally, let's turn to the markets. The Mexican peso increased 0.14% to 18.5341 from 18.5090 on the dollar in the previous trading session. On the other hand, the IPC Mexico increased 0.15% to 48,883 from 48,808 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you again for staying with us. I'm your host, Joseph Garza. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. See you next time.